Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another hangout vid, a wrestling vid on Beyond the Cave Ape channel. This is your host, Dan the Man Boxing. Um, my co-host Ilias won't be joining us tonight as he will be attending to other obligations, but he'll definitely be back on next week's show as we review news and updates, and we'll be reviewing Raw and SmackDown, which I did. I will try to review NXT. I will try to incorporate that into the show's platform as well. So you're also going to be seeing regular uploads either from myself or LES. And we promise you that we're going to get more co-hosts to join us as well for a live discussion. So those of you who actually are watching right now, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and chat. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to drop it in the chat box that's located on the right side of the video. If you're on your laptop or desktop PC, or if you're on your mobile device, the chat is located at the bottom of the video. So, or the live stream, I should say. So, where do I start? Let's start with Sunday Survivor Series. I must say that was a damn good show. It's probably well, I'll reserve my final grade on the show. But let me just go down the match, uh, match by match, piece by piece. Okay, first, the Survivor Series started off with a kickoff show between Elias versus Matt Hardy. I must say it was a very pretty good match. Elias is. I mean, I have to say, Elias actually draws a lot of heat when he gets on that guitar. It start, mouth and bad mouth and all the other athletes. The WWE superstars, and he kind of you know WWE fans or universe as you want to call them. You got to stick to the script, whatnot. So, I mean, it was a pretty good match. It was a decent match. Must say that, you know, we don't want the kickoff match to steal the shows. I mean, because that's definitely what most people don't want. But the production team or like Vince McMahon or with Kevin Dunn, those type of guys, they don't want their matches, the kickoff matches to steal the main event show. You don't want that to happen. But to me, it's a good thing because if you have like matches that kick off the show, or you have the pre-match shows. Then if those things do well, then the main event guys or the mid card guys got to step up, so and deliver the results that fans have paid to come see them do, to perform, as wrestling fans. So yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good match. It was not a, like I said, it was not A plus match or a B plus match or A match, I should say, but pretty good match to start off the show, or before the actual show, I should say. But let's get to it real quickly here. Now, what I say? The first match to kick off the show was Kalisto versus Enzo Amore for the cruiserweight title match. Uh, you know, let's see. The thing about Enzo, we all know that his in-ring performance, his in-ring ability has always been questionable. I mean, he's not as bad, but then again, it's not captivating to me. Sometimes his in-ring performances don't really gravitate toward the audience. And to me, he's like I don't know why he's champion. This is just my opinion of the cruiserweight division. He's just the weakest link in that division because he cannot compete on the caliber of those guys, because those guys like Kalisto, Rich Swann, amongst others, they're very they're veterans, man. They put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into what in their craft and what they do. And I'm not saying and Enzo's a bad wrestler. It's just like his matches with Neville and Kalisto. I mean, dreadful, man. I mean, I just didn't really like this match. It wasn't that bad of a match, but I just did not like it. Because sometimes it depends on who you perform with. To get the best out of the wrestler, it takes two wrestlers to give a good match rather than one wrestler. Sometimes it takes one wrestler to carry the other wrestler who's not that good in the match. carry him to make him look good, like Ultimate Warrior, for example. I mean, Ultimate Warrior was notoriously not a good in ring performer, but then again, he had good matches against guys who made him look good, like Randy Savage. I mean, Randy Savage, Macho Man, God rest his soul, and rest, Ultimate Warrior, same as well. I mean, both of those, yeah, Randy Savage always made everyone look good, whoever he performed against. He even made Hulk Hogan look good in many matches, and of course, Hulk Hogan, even to his own admission, has said that he's had terrible matches after 1989, I believe. So obviously, before that, that was in due part to guys like Randy Savage, Paul Orndorff, those guys who made him look good, who carried him in a way. I mean, then again, Hulk Hogan was a very good performer too, outside the WWF, the former WWF, who now we call it WWE. When he wrestled Japan, he was able to display some technicality, but Vince's way of logic and his vision, he wanted to keep his top guys limited. Obviously, guys like Hulk Hogan was the biggest draw he had in the '80s, so he had to ensure that he was healthy, he was safe. He would continue to draw more money for him, which he did. He brought in millions, if not billions, of dollars to that company. Before they went public. The WWF. But anyways, a little bit. Yeah, Enzo just Enzo doesn't really. I don't know what's going on, man. He just really need to work on his craft a bit more, to be honest with you. But he does draw a lot of heat when he is on the mic. I'll give him that. He's very good on the mic. Definitely got some damn good mic skills. So I guess that makes up for his subpar performances in the ring, in my opinion. That would explain why he didn't really compete in the cruiserweight match they had on Raw, which was a damn good match, by the way. Uh, so that's just my take on it, man. He just he needs Enzo, for him to get better. He needs somebody to carry him, and I know Kalisto did his best, but it is what it is. Breezango, which is Fandango and Tyler Breeze, versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You know what? You know what? This is all on the kickoff shows, actually. My bad. These are all kickoff matches. Um, say is I don't know why in the world was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were on the kickoff matches, but I explain why. Uh, it was pretty much all in the storyline, because the guys been on bad terms with Shane McMahon, so that's because I know some fans are wondering what's going on. How come they were on the kickoff matches? Why couldn't their match be on the regular card? Obviously, again, to me, it was more storyline because Shane McMahon wants those guys gone. He feels that they're in the business for themselves, particularly after they have drawn serious heat over that situation over over in the UK, between them and New Day when they were supposed to get attacked by New Day. But when New Day came into the ring, we all know that story. They simply just walked out of the ring. They ran and they just walked to the back without getting attacked, and that pissed off of the script, the agents behind the scene, and the writers, who was overseeing the show and its production that day. It pissed them off, and not only that, it was just a list of things that kind of they ruffle feathers with. I'm talking about is Owens and Zayn when it comes to the backstage crew, whatnot. They don't get along with most of the people in the locker room, from what I've been hearing too. So a lot of people in the locker room have a disdain for them. So, anyways, into this match. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was actually a pretty good match. Well, to me, of course, it was Owens and Zayn that was the ones who actually did more in that match than Breezango. All I gotta say is, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel. I don't know these kickoff matches for some reason, man. I don't know. I just think that, yeah, that match was pretty. I mean, it was not bad, but again, it could have been better. Let's put it that way. Anyways, on to the match that started the show. The Shield versus the New Day. Oh my goodness. Oh man. What can I say? The Shield, let's put it this way. Any match that the Shield have, it's going to give you A plus performance. But the New Day, oh my goodness. This was the match that people were anticipating. This is the match nobody thought would ever happen. We finally got to see it. This match, in my opinion, It was the match of the night, to be honest with you. These guys were going back and forth. A lot of signature moves were applied on each other. A lot of kickouts. And to me, well, all the kickouts, all the signature moves, all the close claws. I mean, the close calls. I just felt that wow, wow. I mean, I know we've been talking about the New Day and the Shield for a while now, how they rejuvenated the tag team division. As I recall, the tag team division back in the early 2000s was very dreadful. It was a bad division. It was horrible, and nobody wanted to pay it, give it too much attention until now. I mean, I believe the Shield and the New Day kind of rejuvenated that whole division. I mean, we got some great tag teams. You got the Usos, now you got the Belligerent brothers, the Bolderin brothers, who are formerly the Wyatt family, Aaron Rowan and Luke Harper. We'll get to that in the SmackDown review, but some way. I mean, I'm not sure about the Ascension, but I mean, the tag team division is very deep right now in both SmackDown and Raw. But anyways, this match right here was outstanding. The best match of the night, in my opinion. In my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I'll get to the other matches in a minute. They were very good matches as well. But they could, in my opinion, could not top this one with New Day and the Shield. I mean, this was a unbelievable match. And all I gotta say is too is I wasn't really pleasing with the result. To be honest with you guys, I wanted New Day to win that. I wanted New Day to win it, but hey, you can't always get what you want, right? So, hey, I'm not mad. Both teams performed and they stole the show. And I had a feeling that was going to happen, especially when you get the New Day and the Shield. I mean, their match is about to steal the show. So no surprise there. Anyhow, where was I? Okay, on to the new match. I mean, not new match. On to the other match. All right, the women's Raw versus SmackDown match. No, not a bad match. It was actually very good. Back and forth, whatnot. SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was going to win it because they were just, picking apart all the Raw members left and right. So, all I can say is that what kind of slowed down the match a little bit is, of course, you got the big ladies in here, Nia Jax and Tamina, who are actually family members, by the way. They're both cousins, and Tamina super kicked Nia Jax, super kicked her numerous of times, and then did a cross body off the steel steps, and the crowd booed the fact that she was eliminated that way because she was counted out. Nia Jax. And Alicia Fox was the captain of the Raw's women's team, Raw's team, and who was the captain of the SmackDown's team? I think it was Becky Lynch. Yeah, it was Becky Lynch. So, yeah, not a bad performance. I mean, bad match. Oscar was the one who kind of, who's the sole survivor there. She was, fitting off Carmella and who was she was fending off against? I think it was Tamina. Was it Tamina? Yeah, it was Oscar. Yeah, it was Oscar and Tamina. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. It was Natalia. There we go. It's funny though because Elias and myself we were kind of wondering who the fifth woman is going to be. Going into that match again in that Survivor Series on women's situation, and it turned out to be Natalia, which I was kind of disappointed about that result. I was like, I thought it'd been Ronda Rousey or somebody from NXT, but that didn't happen. So definitely we'll talk about NXT in a sec. So very good match. Not of course, there's a couple bumps here and there. I mean, when I mean bumps, I mean a couple, a few sloppiness here and there. I mean, but it was a good match overall. The Intercontinental Champion, the champion versus champion match. The Miz, who's the Intercontinental Champion for Raw, versus Baron Corbin, who's the United States Champion from SmackDown. Oh man, all I could say is a very good match. I don't know why some people kind of say some people felt this was a bit of a letdown. I don't know. I don't know. Some people I've talked to, don't get me wrong, guys. I thought this was actually a very good match. You know. Baron Corbin got the win. I thought that he was going to drop to the Miz because Baron Corbin is not really liked backstage, especially the heat he's been getting over the last couple months. So obviously that caused him to only become the yeah, he was the Money in Bank winner. I thought he was going to get the get the title push for the main world title, but he cashed in on his Money in the Bank and lost that night. So it is what it is. Kind of like similar to what Damon Sandow did. So him and Damon Sandow are the only two guys who won the Money in the Bank, and they cashed in, and they end up losing in their and in their what you call it in their efforts to get the world title. But it is what it is. You know, Baron Corbin is the United States champion, so it seems like he's getting a little bit of a push here, in my opinion. So they might give him another shot. All right, the Raw's tag team, the tag team matches, championship match between the Bar versus the Usos. I mean, this right here was a damn good match too. I mean, the Usos also put up very good matches, whoever they're in the ring against. And the bar that I'm mentioning is Sheamus and Cesaro. I mean, I could say is that Cesaro and Sheamus they kind of stiff people a lot. I saw a little bit of stiffness in here in this match, to be honest with you. A lot of back and forth, cheap shops, underhanded tactics. I mean, that's the bar. That's what they usually do to win matches, and no surprises there. Uh, the Usos won the match by a double super kick to Sheamus, and they followed up with a top rope splash, and they earned the win. So definitely a very good match. Some people, like I said, very good match. Again, it didn't really top the New Day versus the Shield. I mean, again, these other matches had a lot of work to do to top that match. To do. Okay, on to the women's championship, champion versus champion. The women's Raw's women's champion Alexa Bliss versus the SmackDown women's champion Charlotte Flair. I mean, very good match. I ain't gonna lie, this was a very good match. I mean, Alexa's actually gotten better in the ring. I know she's been criticized for being, early on for her in ring, performance not being up to par. But she did make up a lot for that with her, with her skills on the mic. Let's not get it twisted here. She's very good at the mic. At the same time, she's worked at her craft, so she's actually gotten a lot better in the ring. And to be honest with you, I thought this match was going to be pretty average, but again, it was actually better than I expected. So a lot of back and forth going on. I actually thought Alexa was going to win this match, but it turns out that it was Charlotte Flair who won it. So obviously, SmackDown was leading. I think. What is it? What was the lead? 4-2, I think. Yeah, 4-1 or 4-2 going into the main event show. 4-2, I think. They're up 4-2. Yeah, they're up 4-2. So after the Charlotte Flair and the Alexa Bliss match. So let's see what's going on. What was the next match after that one? The next match after that one is oh yes, this one right here. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Was it 3-2? Yeah, they're up 3-2. My bad. They're up 3-2. Oh man, AJ Styles, the SmackDown WWE Champion versus the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar for Raw. You know what? Despite Brock being the dominant guy early on, which we expected, he's a guy who's going to try to dominate you and run through you early. All I gotta say is this match, AJ Styles made Brock Lesnar look good in a very, very long time. The last guy that made him look good was CM Punk. Matt Brock didn't have a good match like that since then until now with AJ Styles. And it's funny though because with Elias and myself, we were at the book signing of Chris Jericho, where I ran into a couple guys and they're big Brock Lesnar fans, and they were like, yeah, there ain't nobody there we really want to see him against. And I pitched the idea. This was a few months ago, and I said, well, what about AJ Styles? And it's like, what really? And we didn't think about. Yeah, I said AJ Styles. I think that would be a two stylistically, that match can look good. I know Brock is going to try to dominate AJ early. He's going to try to squash through him, but AJ will launch a arsenal of moves that will make Brock look good. And I think that would be a damn good match. Something that nobody thought would happen is actually will happen, in my opinion. It's like, no, that's actually not a bad idea. The sound of Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. All I gotta say is that this match actually happened sooner than I thought, and it was a damn good match, man. It was a lot of towards the end of the match, like mid towards the end of the match, AJ started to launch an offense to get back into the match. He using his 450 splash off the top rope, man. I mean, that guy is just a phenomenal performer. And he comes to the, he performs like a level higher each time he's in the ring with someone. And again, he made Brock look so good in this match. A lot of back and forth. I mean, it was a lot of dramatic 2 counts. I thought that the phenomenal forearm when AJ delivered it, I thought that was it for Brock, and then he put him uh, into the submission, the what you call it, the what was submission that AJ put him in? He put him into in the one-legged submission, the ankle submission move. And I thought Brock, it was surprising that he put Brock in that move, and I thought Brock was going to tap. And all I gotta say is that Brock winning with the F5, I thought AJ deserved it. I thought Brock was gonna win it anyway, but I thought, you know what, maybe he will get Brock will put him over, but apparently that didn't happen. All I gotta say is, wow, 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 wow. I mean, obviously, it was looking like a typical squash match by Brock Lesnar, but AJ, had with stood the storm and the onslaught. He came back and he had near 3 count pinfalls against Brock Lesnar. It was, and to me, it just had me, edge of my seat. It's like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? All I gotta say is, the next time, I really think that WWE is going to have to really match up AJ Styles against Brock Lesnar again. I think that right there will make them lots of money. I think it makes sense, and they'll draw on house shows. They will draw on pay-per-view shows, even on their on their other main event shows like SmackDown and it, or Raw, obviously. So I think the AJ versus Brock Lesnar makes more sense going forward. I hope they can do this program at WrestleMania. I really hope so. AJ could Rock could put him over at WrestleMania, which would make more sense, to be honest with you. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So overall, I think the show will grade. I give it a B plus. I mean, there was a lot of good matches. There was some letdown matches. Obviously, the kickoff shows is probably one of the reasons why. But again, maybe I shouldn't count the kickoff shows. But all I gotta say is that overall, the main event, the shows on the main event card were very good. I mean, this is the best Survivor Series that I've ever seen, to be honest with you. So I have no complaints about it. So I'm going to wind this down real quickly, guys, and go to the Raw show. Raw, I got a chance to see Raw. A lot of good matches. I mean, they were very good matches. I mean, Raw. We all know every time me and Elliot gets on, we talk about Raw. I mean, whole Ope on Raw. It's just that to me, it's the writing team on Raw just does not make any sense sometimes to me. I don't understand. You know, I mean, they had Roman Reigns versus the Miz for the main event for the Intercontinental title. We'll get into that, but the show kicked off with Stephanie McMahon getting into the ring. Oh, for God's sakes, man. Stephanie McMahon. We do not need to see Stephanie McMahon on one of the segments. I mean, she's bland. No disrespect to Stephanie. I know and her husbands are doing a pretty good job of running the company, pretty much, um, Vince is trusting her and his son-in-law to run the company as smooth as he would run it to be ran. But to be honest with you, she doesn't need to be part of the storylines and the angles. Really, she does not. She needs to just step back and let Triple H do the work. I don't. It just makes no sense for her to get involved in these storylines. I know she can't help herself, but but still, though, just for a lot, for good business, I don't think the crowd, to be honest with you, the crowd is not receptive to her at all every time she walks out. It's just like it's bland. It just not makes no sense for her to get part of these storylines. I know she likes so desperate to get it to play the heel, especially with Kurt Angle. I just don't understand that. Oh, I forgot to mention that on the Team Raw situation. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. And I forgot to mention that match. I did not mention that match about Survivor Series. My bad. Let me get into that one. All right, that match was pretty good. a little bit slow to my liking. Of course, there was a lot of friction between Team Raw with Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, which I expected. But the thing is though I noticed something strange that happened. It was a very good angle, to be honest with you. Triple H tagged himself in. Well, actually, no, he did tag himself in. Kurt Angle was handling Shane McMahon. Next, you know, Triple H gets in there and he pedigrees and he attacks Kurt Angle from behind. He pedigrees him, and then he allows Shane McMahon to pin Kurt Angle 1, 2, 3. Shane looked surprised. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" And Braun Strowman looked in the, he was in the, on the, he was in the corner, and wondered, "What the hell are you doing, Hunter? What are you doing?" That look, and then next thing you know, um, Shane thought that Hunter was going to, was going to team up with him and, and take out Braun Strowman because Braun Strowman was the only guy left. Then out of nowhere, a double cross happened. Triple H attacked Hunter, attacked Shane and then pedigreed him 1, 2, 3 and got the victory for Team Raw. And Braun Strowman was livid. He was like, "Don't you ever think you could double cross me like that again?" And he attacked Triple H to to end the whole scenario. So yeah. Anyhow, Stephanie comes out, gloating and saying that Team Raw did what they had to do. It worked for my husband, Kurt. Triple H. Triple H comes out. He comes to the ring, and then he greets his wife. Then suddenly Kurt Angle's music comes out. He storms out to the ring. He's pissed off. He gets in Triple H's face and say, "Don't you ever do that to me again. You can take this job and shove it up you know what because I will beat you." I mean, something within the lines. I mean, to me, that it looks like they're going to do a Kurt Angle versus a Triple H program coming up next year. I believe that's what's going to happen. To be honest with you, they happen at WrestleMania. Why not? I would love to see it. But then again, Kurt Angle to me has lost a step, man. I mean, obviously that's what happens when you get older. You have years of of nagging injuries and pain. I mean, I don't know. Kurt can still go. He's still got some quickness in him as far as wrestling ability because he's always been a wrestler. But he's naturally a gifted wrestler. But overall, I just think that he's lost a step. To be honest with you, I mean, I've seen his match with the Shield, of course, his match in Survivor Series. I thought he lost a step a little bit, but it is what it is. But Stephanie again, she just needs to. She don't need to be involved in the more angles. Forget it. Alrighty. The Jason Jordan, Kurt Angle's kayfabe son came out and he got into Triple H's face and say, "Hey, I'm 100%. Why don't you try to pedigree me again? Do it tonight." So Angle, he was trying to keep him back, try to keep Jason back. And, he was like, "All right, keep me back. That you make the match between me and Triple H tonight." Try to agitate Jason Jordan like, you're no match for my husband. He would obliterate you. He would humiliate you. And my husband is not, you know, my husband is not afraid of anyone in the locker room. Then Braun Strowman comes out. Then Triple H got out of the ring real quickly. And people called him a coward. They yelled coward because Jason Jordan called him a coward to kind of, spin things off. But um, anyhow, Stephanie gets back on the mic, saying, "Okay, Jason, if you want a match, then you have to face Braun Strowman." Wow. And then Jason Jordan was like, "Look, Dad, I can't compete." And he was like, "What do you mean you can't compete? You just told everyone you're 100%." He's like, I know that was for show because I wanted to get a Triple H." I mean, I'm not going to get into the backstage statements. I thought that was a bit pointless to me, to be honest with you. Pretty bland and dull. Anyways, on to Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. My opinion, the best match on Raw, the best match of the show. To be honest with you, Samoa Joe and Finn Balor have always given good matches ever since NXT. They've always done giving good matches. Their in-ring chemistry is just always impeccable. To be honest with you, I thought that Finn Balor was going to get another clean win against what's his name against Samoa Joe, but Joe actually got the clean win this time. The Nakia clutch. He put him in the Kakina clutch chokehold, and the referee called for the bell. So a damn good match. I ain't gonna like it. Very good match. Yeah, again, I mentioned they work well together. So the next match was Asuka versus Dana Brooke. It only lasted a couple minutes. Of course, this is a typical squash match for Asuka because they're building her as the monster, the monster woman's wrestler. Ah man, all I gotta say is Amber Moon, hurry up and get promoted to the main roster quickly. That's all I gotta say. Because Asuka and Amber Moon, they put up better matches than the matches I've seen Asuka go up against. Don't get me wrong, Asuka actually had some good matches against Emma before, then he released her all of a sudden. I mean, that was injustice right there, in my opinion. Um, but it is what it is. Yeah, but as far as Dana Brooke is concerned, I mean, don't get me wrong. She did somewhat okay, but she just doesn't have it what it takes to be in the ring at this moment. I really think they need to demote her back to NXT so she can further improve in her craft. To be honest with you, now of course they had the Miz in his ring with the Miz TV segment with the Miz Doraj, whatever, with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. And as I mentioned, the Shield came out to the ring. They disrupted Miz's the Mixed TV's segment, and they challenged and Roman Reigns challenged what's his name Miz to his Intercontinental match. And to me, I don't like this. Why they gotta? I just didn't like it, but it is what it is, right? So they announced the title match between Miz with his Intercontinental title on line against Roman Reigns. All right, so yeah, okay, whatever, y'all. Anyhow, let's see. Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose, 1-on-1. And all I gotta say is that the Sheamus, the Bar versus the Shield matches have always been good. They seem to work well together with these two teams. There was a lot of back and forth, a little stiffness here and there. Like I mentioned, Sheamus and Cesaro are known to kind of stiff these guys a little bit, but it seems like the Shield don't really mind. you know, Ambrose and Rollins, obviously, I don't think they really mind about the stiffness that goes on in their matches. But anyhow, I thought this match was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of back and forth, and Dean Ambrose got the win over Sheamus. It's funny though, 'cause this match almost had the same as it did, same highlights as it did over at No Mercy, which to me that match, in my opinion, stole the show that night with the Shield with Ambrose and Rollins against the Bar. I mean, it was a lot of back and forth, dramatic two counts. It was just a very amazing match, and I saw some of those highlights of that match, No Mercy, to this match tonight. So, uh, yeah, I really think that again, the members of the Bar and the members of the Shield, they really work well together in the ring. So, very good match. So let's move on to the next one. Let me take care of this in a second. I gotta close out some few things here when it comes to work. So last minute reports. All right. Let's see. Alexa Bliss walks into the ring and she cuts a heated promo, which she's very good at doing. Then Mickey James came out and interrupted her and said, "You ain't nothing, Missy." And I'm tired of seeing Mickey James and Alexa Bliss. I mean, Jesus Christ, it seems repetitive. I thought, honestly thought that they're going to do another program with her. And then actually, Sasha Banks comes out. Bailey comes out first. Actually, she comes out after Mickey James. And Bailey seems to get booed a lot. I don't know why. She doesn't really deserve that treatment. It's sad what's become of her. I guess that the writing team hasn't really utilized her. I don't know what it is. I don't know, man. The thing about these NXT people, man, they get very big pushes down at NXT. They do well over there. But when they get to the main roster, things are completely different, which I'll get to in a second because there's some people who are very concerned about being promoted to the main roster about what their pushes are going to be. So I'll get to that in a sec. Uh, Let me see. Bailey comes in and Sasha Banks come in, talk about, I'm worth a title shot because I'm the boss, blah, blah, blah. Then Alexa Bliss walks out of the ring saying that none of you guys, ladies, deserve a title shot. Then Kurt Angle decides to book an immediate four-way match right away between the contenders who got in the ring. and Alicia Fox came out too. So so he booked a match between Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks, Mickey James, and Bailey in a fatal four way, right? So match goes on. It went into a couple minutes. The next thing you know, Paige's music starts playing. We all know Paige. Paige came back and the crowd was roaring when they heard her music. And she came out and she the first four words she says, "Did you miss me?" And the crowd chanted yes. And she was like, "Well, ladies, I don't mean to interrupt your business, but I just got a couple things to say, a few things to say. I'm back, and next thing you know, I'm back, but I didn't come alone. By she didn't come alone, she takes off her jacket. She starts to, walk towards the ring. Then out of nowhere, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose came from out of the crowd, and they started attacking Mickey James and Sasha Banks and Bailey and others who were in the ring. And Alicia Fox just ran away like a coward. And Sonya Deville, she's like she's pretty big for a lady. I mean, she used to be she's a former MMA fighter. So, oh my goodness. I mean, Mindy Rose, power lifter, fitness body, builder, power lifter. I mean, they looked menacing in there in that ring, and I'd say, I mean, that was a pretty good segment. And for Paige to come back, she's got her entourage now. And then backstage, they were interviewing, what's her name, Renee Young. Then Alexa Bliss shows up and she dismisses me. Renee Young said, "All right, Renee, you can go now." And Lex is trying to be cordial. This segment right here, then they attack. She's trying to be cordial with the ladies, and they attacked Alexa Bliss, and they manhandled her backstage. I mean, Alexa, she took it very well, though. She sold that very, very well. So, yeah, on to the next segment. Jason Jordan versus Braun Strowman. You know what? Even though this match only lasted a few minutes, it actually was a pretty good match until Kane came out of nowhere, attacked Braun Strowman. Of course, Jason Jordan, lost the match by DQ, but still, he was, with his storyline situation, he was very timid about facing Braun Strowman. So, anyways, Kane attacks him behind with a chair, with the chair shots, and then the last, the last blow that he had scored on Braun, he put the edge of the chair on his neck, and he slammed it to the ring post, and then Strowman sold it as if he was choking and gasping for air as he walked back up the ramp. So, Braun sold it pretty injured. I mean, he's injured. He sold it very well. So, I'm sure they're going to have a storyline where Braun Strowman got injured by Kane. He suffered a severe throat injury. So we'll see how that goes. With how this storyline plays out. Anyways, the 205 Live segment. You got the cruiserweights: Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, Akira Tozawa, and Mustafa Ali. They all come out in the segment when Enzo Amore came out with his entourage, and he was, drawing heat with the crowd, whatnot. And the next thing you know, Cedric Alexander was the leader of this pack with Swan and others, and Tozawa and Mustafa Ali. He said, "Look, I'm not like we're not like the ass kisses. Pretty much the ass kisses that you surround yourselves. Look, we're not like the ass kisses that you surround yourself with. All right, because we actually want to fight for that title that you have, the cruiserweight title, and we'll do whatever we can to get that shot." So this was a very good match. I'm not gonna lie. The cruiserweights never disappoint. They never disappoint. I mean, they all have an arsenal of moves. I mean, they're very good at their craft and what they do. The things that Enzo obviously wasn't a part of the match anyway because he can't perform on the level that they can. Let's be honest, he cannot do it. So, of course, it makes sense for him to just step back and cheerlead his team on and start, bad mouthing them when they're not doing anything right. And, then he bigs them up when they're doing something good. So, I mean, it was a pretty good match. I'm not gonna say. 205 Live does lack a lot of things, so yeah, it is what it is. Of course, the main event match of the night: The Miz versus Roman Reigns. All I gotta say is, despite the fact that I get tired of seeing Roman Reigns time and time again, I do. But the man puts up some very good matches. I'm not gonna lie to you, he does, and the Miz does too. Let's be honest, he does have some good. Anybody he's working against in the ring, he does very good. And it's sickening to me because Wiz is a damn good heel. He needs a title push again. He does. He really needs a title push again. I mean, he was damn good as a heel champion when he cashed in his Money in Bank against Randy Orton, WrestleMania with John Cena. So why don't he just get a title push again? I know Triple H don't like the guy, but come on, man, you can't always have resentment forever. So what you need to do is give this guy a push, give him the title push again. I guarantee you that will draw a lot of people in big heat. Give him a title push again. I think he might go face if he gets another title push. We'll see. But anyways, overall, it was not a bad show. But again, Raw. I mean, like I said, Raw. I don't know. It still lacks creativity, in my opinion. I just don't know why they just can't get it right on Raw. I just don't understand it. To be honest with you, I really don't. But before I get to the SmackDown review, let me just give you guys a couple updates here. I wanted to comment on the update on the backstage heat that Sami and Kevin Owens has been getting as of late. Okay, of course, I forgot to mention in the Survivor Series reviews that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens pretty much cost Team SmackDown that match with Shane McMahon, so they interfered. So I forgot to mention that. Um, the heat they've been getting. This is reported by Dave Meltzer. Shout out to Dave Meltzer, by the way. Let me see. So Meltzer also noted that the backstage heat on Kevin Owens in WWE after being sent home from the recent South American tour seems to have gone away. The same, however, cannot be said for Sami Zayn. So it seems like Kevin Owens is still he's on good terms with some people, but there's a little bit of heat there. But Sami Zayn still got heat. So that probably explain what happened on SmackDown, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little update on that. So it looks like Kevin Owens is out of the hot seat for now, but then again, Sami Zayn still is. What else we got here? There's also been some speculation that the NXT, well, the female superstars, particularly for NXT, are very worried about their call ups, call up to the main roster. You know, like I mentioned, some of these people from NXT get big pushes. They're not limited to their wrestling ability to some degree, but when they get to the main roster, they get limited. They get put in dumb storylines, as you want to call it, and they're afraid they're not going to get the big pushes that they have gotten at NXT. So um, I don't know. So Dave Meltzer has reported that the is they're very nervous about what's going to happen. They're nervous about not getting main event pushes. So they're afraid they're going to be marginalized, like again like some of the superstars who were called up from NXT, like Finn Balor, for example. He's been marginalized ever since he was a Universal Champion. He got injured. He had to forfeit the title, and he hasn't been back in the title picture ever since. And I think it's not fair because the guy can actually be a very good champion. He never lost that title in the ring, and I think he's not deserving of that. Of the way he's been getting pushed the way he has. I think he needs to get back on the. He needs a push, and I know Vince is not high on the guy, but Vince, just take a chance. I know he wasn't high on Bret Hart. I got the push, and look what Bret Hart did. Bret Hart drew. He drew pretty well as a champion, and I know Vince wanted to get the title off of him many times and go with someone else, but no one else was high like Bret Hart was. So ask Lex Luger and Diesel. No, not a laughing matter, but you guys know what I mean. Um, but anyhow, so basically, that's the little update on what's going on here. Let's see. The Undertaker was backstage at Survivor Series this Sunday, which is interesting. Never thought about that. Clash of Champions. I know that they announced one match. I think AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal is been announced. It's funny. Speaking of Jinder Mahal, I thought that he was supposed to interfere in that match with Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles, but that didn't happen. So hey, I thought it would be interesting if he did, but no, it didn't happen. They decided to let Lesnar win cleanly. I mean, I guess that's the way he wanted. But anyways, on to the SmackDown review. SmackDown actually was a very good show, and it only lasts for the thing is because it's not drawn out. That's probably the reason why. It's just like stick to the point. Uh, but anyhow, the match kicks off with Shane McMahon getting into the ring. He was like Raw was actually pretty good. Blah blah blah. This that and the third. The Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn gets in the ring, and I think Shane was telling them that these guys could be fired for their misconduct because of they interfered in the match. So basically they were the Daniel Bryan comes out, and if I can remember my certain let me see, he comes out and he tells Shane, be careful, don't get a hold of yourself. I know exactly how you feel, blah blah blah. So Daniel Bryan decided that these guys, rather than firing these guys, he should make them compete and punish them. So they will be competing against New Day. Zayn's like, wait a minute, it's three of them, it's two of us. How can you make that match? He said, oh, don't worry, Sammy. Don't worry, Sammy. All the superstars in that locker room will be surrounding the ring, which is a lumberjack match, obviously. And they all don't like you. Some do. So don't worry. All right. And before that, they were disrespecting Shane. I mean, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn actually draw a very good heat. I think they're going to be the top heels of that show, to be honest with you. So anyhow, the first match of the night was Jey Uso versus Shelton Benjamin, and very good match. I'm not gonna lie, it only lasted a few minutes. Shelton Benjamin wins with his signature move over Jey Uso. Very good match, a lot of back and forth stuff, a lot of high five stuff by the Usos as usual. And Chad Gable, kind of try to interfere in the match with the Usos. So very good, very good. Obviously Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. I think Benjamin is there to help Gable progress as a superstar. It's actually working. It actually is working. And then there's a backstage statement with Naomi. She was in a makeup chair, and the next thing you know, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan just walked up into her, just walked up to her out of nowhere, and they gave her a big beating backstage. And then Becky Lynch came in there, and she tried to help out Naomi, and then they attacked her badly, and they tossed her all over the place as well. So yeah, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know why would they pair these people up. It's a very odd pair because Liv Morgan is more of a pretty girl cheerleading type. She doesn't have a mean streak. It's just not her character, to be honest with you. Even though she's improved very well as a performer in the ring in NXT, but she doesn't have a mean streak. I don't know why would they pair her up with Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan. I think Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott makes more sense, but not Liv Morgan. I don't understand why would they pair her up with those two. That to me makes no sense whatsoever. But hey, it is what it is. It just seems odd to me, to be honest with you, because one of my friends had talked to me about this, and I was like, you know what? After looking at that segment, that looked very odd for Liv Morgan to pair up with them. She doesn't have a mean streak. It's just not her. She just I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see. The Hype Brothers versus the Bulgin Brothers, as I mentioned earlier. Squash match. Zack Ryder and Mojo Riley, man, they were both squashed by the Bolger brothers, aka the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. I mean, they literally squashed the hell out of them. I think they even stiffed them in a couple times in this match as well. I mean, wow. I mean, all I gotta say is that watch out for this tag team, the Bulger brothers. They are a force to be reckoned with, and I think they taking the tag team on notice. Usos, y'all better watch out. The New Day, y'all better watch out too. So, anyways, I mean, wow, it was a lot of it was a very intense match for only a couple minutes, but it is what it is. So anyhow, AJ Styles, makes his way to the ring. Um, of course, they showed the photo. They showed highlights of his match against Brock Lesnar, and then Paul Heyman even complimented AJ Styles on Twitter over a live feed, whatnot, a live response, and yeah, man, AJ, with the ring and said, "Hey, I had a good match. I did the best I could." It is true what they say about Brock Lesnar. He is says what they say is he's actually a beast. He's a competitor, and yeah, and then he mentions Jinder Mahal. Then Jinder, was on the Titantron, and he said what he had to say. He said, "Look, AJ, I thought you almost had it against Brock, but I'm going to reclaim my title at the Clash of Champions." Blah blah blah. And then the Singh brothers tried to jump AJ from behind, but he fended them off pretty quickly and hit the Clash of Styles on the Styles Clash on one of the brothers, and right in front of the direction of Jinder Mahal. So pretty good segment. I'm not gonna complain about that. Natalia versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Title Championship match. I get tired of seeing these Natalia versus Charlotte matches. It just gets too repetitive. We see this over and over again. I mean, they have pretty good matches either way. But in the middle, during the middle of the match, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan just jumps out of the crowd, and they've been again attacking Natalia from the outside. They slammed her head into the announce table, into the ring post as well, and then they surrounded the ring and they attacked Charlotte, so forth. But I mean, it was a very good. I mean, like I said, it was not a bad segment, but again, it's just Liv Morgan, man. I don't know, man. To me, she doesn't seem right with that with that crew. She doesn't. I just think that if they go to call her up to the main roster, they should at least call her up to where she's getting a match with someone, not attacking someone from SmackDown like that. I mean, if anybody who needs to be called up, to pair up like that, maybe Ebner Moon, because I know they're trying to give her a title push right now. But Ebner Moon probably would have made more sense because to me, she has more of a mean streak. She's more devious, and she seems to be more overwhelming, in my opinion, than Liv Morgan. She should have been called up, and she should have joined Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan because I think that would have been a better trio, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's just my opinion, guys. I know Elias may have a difference of opinion. I know he doesn't watch NXT that much, but he does follow it a bit. So yeah, the match of the night, which is the main event, New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the lumberjack match. Funny match, but very good match, by the way. Uh, all I gotta say is that whenever the New Day members get thrown out of the ring, the locker room wouldn't even touch them or throw them back in the ring, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn wonder what's going on. How because you're not throwing them back in the ring? Why you not throwing them back in the ring? Whatnot, right? And then whenever they get tossed to the ring, uh, outside the ring, I should say, the locker room immediately attacked Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It was just a pretty funny match. I mean, still a good match. A lot of moves, high risk moves here and there, a lot of good high risk moves. Then out of nowhere, Sami Zayn, there was a brawl that was going on the outside, uh, whatnot. And then next you know, Sami Zayn rolled up Kofi Kingston and he rolled up his trunks and got the win. So after the match, Rusev attacked Big E, which allowed, and then next which allowed Kevin Owens to escape into the crowd. And Sami Zayn, however, was still trapped by New Day. Run, but New Day caught him and they threw him back in the ring. And Xavier Woods, and then Kofi Kingston hit him with the Trouble of Paradise kick, and then Big E and Xavier Woods finished him off with the closed it off with the Midnight Hour on him, and then New Day celebrated even though they lost the match. And then Kevin Owens begged Daniel Bryan to please not fire him. Look, please don't fire me. And then Daniel Bryan's like, look, man, was never gonna fire you, but I'm gonna put you in the match next week against Randy Orton. Of course, Owens didn't like that, but again, he faked Daniel Bryan instead for put him in the match, even though he didn't like that. So, all I gotta say is though, as much as I criticize Raw, I thought the Raw show was a bit better than SmackDown. To be honest with you, I thought SmackDown just came up a bit short. I don't know. The match, I guess I don't know why, but it just came up short. Maybe if AJ had wrestled the match, maybe it have overtaken Raw as far as overall quality is concerned, as far as the shows is concerned. But I guess since he didn't wrestle, that was probably the reason why I give Raw more of the nod as far as the in ring performances, whatnot. So uh, overall, both shows are very good. Give them an average of a B, perhaps a B minus. So both shows combined. As far as other news is updates concerned, yeah, it's not too much. It's just that the rumor going up that the NXT people, according to Dave Meltzer, they've been called up to the main roster. They're like very nervous about being marginalized on the main roster. So as I've commented a while back, a lot of the some of the NXT people in the past have said that they wish they've never been called up to the main roster because they enjoyed their time at NXT. They like to do what they do. They don't get marginalized down there because the NXT writers actually have good storylines and scripts for them. So, um, of course, because the Triple H actually runs that whole thing, so he knows what he's doing. He doesn't have him and his wife doesn't have entire control of Raw and SmackDown. So obviously, or actually Shane runs SmackDown, but other than that, they don't have full control until Vince decides he wants to fully step down. And I think he really needs to. He needs to really entrust his companies in the hands of his family. His son-in-law and his son and his daughter. He needs to really entrust them because they've been around for 2 decades. They know how the business is, how the what the business is about. They know how to run it. Shane, on the other hand, was the CEO of China Mobile, another company. Then he came back, so the broadband. So uh, yeah, yeah, that's about it. Looking forward to Clash of Champions. Before I take off, I want to see what the I know AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal's match is going to come up, so obviously I know what to expect from that match. I mean, it's going to be a very good match, especially with AJ Styles is in it. So no gripes there. But I want to see what other matches have been announced for that. I don't think they have. I think it was only that match. Let me see. Let me see. Let's see. Here we go. Let me see. Yeah, that's the only match has been announced so far. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Clash of Champions. Now that Roman Reigns is the Intercontinental Champion, we might see. Let me see. I don't know. We'll see. Will they have a champion versus champion match? Champions are where I think all the brands get together. I believe, but I could be wrong. But that is the only match that's on the card right now. But we'll have to wait and see as it further progresses. So the show's on December 17th, so that's almost a month away. So, anyways, y'all, I'm about to take off here. This is Dan the Man Boxing. I hope everyone's enjoyed this video. Those who haven't watched, you can go ahead and add your comments and thoughts after I conclude this hangout. So again, hit up the thumbs button, care the comment, share, subscribe. Shining off. Peace, and we'll see you next week. And I am out.